How many of us have them friends?
9 to 5.
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 Mine sounded in sync, and I don't know
There's
whether it's
only
because
3.
I'm over here.
Hey,
and-
2 or 3 is passing.
There's literally only, actually it's 60%.
I mean,
sorry.
66%.
It's 66%.
Oh, okay. That's
You
still.
won't-
In some schools,
Some schools a D is passing, I believe.
and for some families that was passing.
In some, yes.
I can't speak to that because that's not in my experience.
That would have
I
been
don't know
one
why
of
I
those
just took
few
my
tests
brush and brushed
that
my-
I hid in the back of my dresser. In middle school, I had a couple bad grades like that.
Ball them up, put them in the bottom of your
those
bag.
I had this little space behind my desk that was in the corner of my room that you couldn't reach to, so I would just throw shit behind there, never to be seen by the light of day.
Lost.
Most real niggas don't have good grades. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. Studies show that the vast majority of real niggas don't have great grade. Like,
Where are the studies? Where
I
the
feel like
reports?
this is another
first
time to
person, I
talk
believe.
shit about all the kids who wasted time in like AP classes and honor classes. You niggas been hoodwinked, bamboozled. We all ended up at the same fucking spot, the same colleges, but you bitch ass niggas was studying on Friday nights when I was out in the streets riding around, turning it up. You lame ass niggas. When I was doing homework 5 minutes before class, you bitch ass niggas was freaking out and doing homework all morning.
So this is the
fuck
energy
y'all.
you're on today, huh?
Yeah, man, I'm just tired. Look, my kid,
Sorry,
I've never forced my kid.
it
If
is
Ashley wants him
Monday.
to take a little decent class, so be it.
I
My
took
niggas-
one AP class and I didn't even take the test.
You remember that, bro?
the teacher
so
told
many
me-
kids.
The teacher told me, he was like, he said, save your $83 that it costs to take an AP exam. He said,
Right.
save your 3 hours or however long the test. He's like, you're going to get a 1. So I said, say less. It's 1 out of 5.
How many kids you know that really, really was like, oh yeah, I'm already a sophomore in school? Like, there's a handful of people we know that came.
I wouldn't want to speed through college anyway, so that was never like
right. That's the whole thing. If you're already going to go to college, and say you get 2 extra classes, congrats.
it would just make your load lighter. Like my senior year, I was a part-time student the whole year, but that wasn't because of AP classes. I took some classes during the summer or whatever, but I would never have wanted to graduate early. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a
Never.
scam, and I'm here to talk about it. I am also officially starting my job today as a college counselor. So if any kids need help, but before we get into that, plug episode 144 of the Back to School podcast.
I didn't even introduce the episode yet.
Episode 144 of the Black Student Consulting Group podcast. I am Dr. Sellers.
Huh?
And I've been
You say you've been credentialed
yes,
by whom?
the Board of Education.
Oh, you're planning on stealing Ashley's doctorate after
No, I already have one.
after she finishes.
I already have one.
Going to
of
refer
those.
to yourself as Dr. Sellers as well.
No, I already have one.
Oh, okay. Well, this is Kyle.
Danny's like Dr.
Suits.
Umar. And then you got Torrance.
So
Dr.
yeah, so
Oz.
this episode we're going to talk about college acceptance, and first, the first 2 hours of this podcast will be about SAT prep. So if you're listening, click on the link in the description. We have a page by page document that you can actually follow through on this podcast episode. So we're gonna get into it. So page 1, SAT. SAT stands for
Oh my gosh.
Saturday ass tests, and so you really need these tests to get into college. They're typically hard to do, but don't study for them. Just make sure when you do
Yeah.
college, go like the whole process of like what you thought was important as a grown up. None of that mattered.
Which
AP,
is kind of frustrating. Which is extremely frustrating.
Well, yeah. The idea of like selling the college dream it's a bit of a scam, honestly. Well, I think we low key got screwed too because we went into college right on the tail end of the recession. And so like careers you thought you might be interested in weren't really careers anymore or viable options. And so like job market was just rebounding when we were coming into college. That I think that like drastically impacted the way that I looked at like classes I was taking or even like majors I was considering or whatever.
Because my
Like,
first
here?
major at Elon was coal mining. So I took
At
two coal
Elon.
mining classes.
That was across the track over on Trollinger.
Yeah, it was
South
it
Campus.
was, yeah, it was coal mining and TV repair. What were my two?
See, I knew you were an athlete, but I didn't know they had athlete classes like that at Elon. Guys,
Yeah, so we were essentially fixing TVs and projectors. So that's my first
Swahili
major.
class at USC too.
Yeah, VHS class. I was took a VHS.
That would have been kind of tight.
It wasn't a real class. It was one of their paper classes that they gave athletes.
Yeah.
That went over my head, which is fun. I learned something new today.
Yeah, I guess stuff was important. I guess you do need to get a good SAT score and all this kind of stuff.
Yes, that stuff is important, but once you like get to college, the playing field is
hella leveled.
I mean, it's weird
to an extent, right? Because, for example, like when you get into college, you can just decide like, okay, like, and especially if you're studying something and you're majoring in something that you actually are interested in and you want to do. If you actually know what that is, say for example, in high school, you were like, all this little gym pop shit that everybody got to do. Look, I don't want to do all that. I want to learn no foreign language and econ and like, I don't want to do all that.
If we do have any high schoolers listening, which I doubt, but if we have one, and that's your thought process, do not go to a liberal arts college. Don't do it.
Because
you don't have your college career.
I took a computer science class.
Classes.
I took so many classes
and I just want to cry about it. Thinking about how I took time to do that. Not saying that because I couldn't tell you what I learned.
Look, I took trigonometry.
You took
college?
I'm pretty sure.
No, you did not. Trigonometry? No, you did not.
Is that easy or that?
That's like
no. Trigonometry is like a 10th grade math class. You didn't take no trigonometry.
Oh, it's not.
You're probably sure? Like statistics.
No, I took statistics. And I'm pretty sure I took trigonometry.
I don't think you did, Daddy.
I don't know. It was something that was in the math school, and it was
calculus. You took calculus because you were a business major. You guys
maybe that's what it was. Calculus.
That's why I did not. That's why I wasn't a business major because I didn't want to take calculus.
Okay, so yeah, I took calculus maybe.
Yeah.
And
Kyle just said trigonometry was easy as fuck, and I'm sitting here like,
well, no, I'm just saying that's a middle of high school math class.
We also know Kyle's 75% Asian, so that
I was on the slow kids math track in high school.
He has certain gifts. He has certain gifts that we just aren't privy to. But yeah, no. So I don't know. I'm a hater. School is important.
Correct.
If you're listening, you have kids that are in college or thinking about having kids in college or whatever. The gag is make them just good enough in the sport and just walk on somewhere. So let's say you want your kid to go to a decent Division I or Division II school, but they don't have great grades. Just like, look, nigga, let's run these. Instead of studying for this SAT that you're going to get a shitty grade on anyways, let's run some fucking routes. Let's work on your jumper a little bit more. You'll have a lot more fun shooting, developing a nice mid range than studying SAT words. You won't make the team. You might be on the practice squad the first year, but you got into fucking school. You're welcome.
I think that's halfway decent advice, but
it's great advice.
But I don't think it's great advice.
But I think it's honestly horrible advice. But
I don't think it's great advice.
Because
let's have a legitimate conversation.
Go ahead. Because if your kid is my size, where they're 5'8", 5'9",
tennis, cross country. If you could have walked on it, Kyle, you could have walked on the cross country team at Elon.
I'm thinking financially. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, financially, you don't get it. You get
financially, you don't get any of these benefits. You don't get any benefits.
Or are you saying walk on to eventually get a scholarship?
So there's a couple different scenarios. If you're a full scholarship athlete, then of course everything's paid for.
Well, yeah, of course.
Exactly.
In certain situations, you can get like things subsidized at least, whether it be books or per diem.
Even as a walk on?
Yeah, like In certain sports, they give you like partial, like where it might be like books.
Yeah, I know you get like partial scholarships and stuff like that,
like per diem and stuff. So it can be cheaper, even just by having like a small scholarship, like a half scholarship or whatever.
I 100% agree. Which is why I'm not saying to have my child, at least my future child, will not be half-assing anything. You will have a full ride because you will be excellent at whatever it is you decide to do.
Okay, when you think that, and little Torrance Jr.
So what happens in reality?
Okay, all right. Let's talk about
he's shooting 23% from.
Let's talk about let's talk about reality though. Let's talk about reality.
Because your sister was a D1 hoop or D2.
D1.
D1. Bryant was D1, right?
But,
yeah.
So your sister's the D1 hooper.
So that's what I'm saying. She got all that in. She got all that money and energy and put it into it. So she got a full ride to school, all that stuff. I, however, was all over the place. So I didn't necessarily.
So you would want your future kid to like hone in and focus a little bit more?
You're gonna be excellent at this thing, and that's going to get you to college, and that's what's going to have it be paid for. As much as you shake your head no, Danny, and that's perfectly fine. But I'm looking at the greatest. And those people and their parents made them hone in. Made Beyonce run miles. Made Venus and Serena hit for days.
I'm not doing all that.
I will.
Because it's like you either, at a certain point, especially with like sports, you at a young age or like a middle age, you realize that you either got it or you don't. Like
exactly. But
by the age of 12, honestly, especially with certain sports, if
you can be a really good athlete and still be very successful, or you can be a mediocre athlete and get to college and walk on and be very successful. If anything, I'm
not saying that you can't be, but like you said, when you get to college, to me it's about financials because my experience was different.
I don't know what point you're trying to make. I think
what do you mean? College, do you not understand what I'm trying to make? You have to understand what I'm saying.
What you're saying is
I think the thoughts just started going in two different sports.
You're saying, from what I understand is you wouldn't let your kid play a sport to potentially walk on and maybe
he would.
I never said that.
No, he said his future child would like hone in on one thing and become
excellent to do it.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, what if Torrance Jr. was fantastic at say tennis up until his 8th grade? He stopped growing. He has a bad ankle, and he just is only good at. He's been playing all his life, and he's only good to maybe walk on at University of Maryland or walk on at USC.
See, tragedy is different than not being like, that's what I'm saying. Like for me, preparing my child will be like
Torrance is going to be Torrance is going to be Joe Jackson in here. He's going to be when
it comes to physically, they might not be good enough.
But that doesn't mean that they can't do other things. There are music scholarships. There are other scholarships that they can do. So that's what I'm saying.
He's going to try to make sure that they are good enough to get to that point, Danny.
To get to that point, period. It ain't just about like, because you're saying from your perspective, it's like, just be good enough to get to the school and walk on. I'm saying, from my perspective, it's all about a full ride. It's all about making sure shit's paid for. But for you, you're like, just get in good enough and jump onto the team and then get some
What I'm saying is, I'm going to be in your kids' corner hoping that they're good enough, as I will be in my kids' corner, and I'm gonna do everything in my power to set up the environment to make sure that they're good enough. They can get a full ride, fantastic. But what I'm saying is, if I realize Danny Jr. is shooting 29% from the 3, he still wants to play basketball, but he has a 2.8 GPA. All right, sir, you're 6'3", you're not as athletic as we would like you to be, and you still want to go to school, and you still love basketball, there's no chance you're going to the league. So, yeah, they'll give you a small scholarship or whatever. Yeah, still go play. And if you still love it, keep playing, but also entertain. As a parent, I'll be like, look, this is probably the last 4 years you'll ever play basketball if you last that long. So find out what else you enjoy outside of basketball, whether it be fucking plays or community involvement, whatever it is.
So you're coming at it from a very different perspective because you were that 4-year letter winner or whatever, and then you had to figure out what you liked outside of football.
The thing about any of these things especially when it comes to athletics. But
I think we're
even
talking about too slightly.
We are.
I see the
We
confusion
are,
on
and
your
now I
face,
understand what
Torrance.
you're saying. So I'm on board with you. But at first I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, of course, as a parent, if my kid, whether it be football, basketball, or cross country, or fucking singing, I'm going to put him in any position to be really good at that.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you might be a singer and you sing like Keith Sweat after a couple of Hennessy's.
But we're going to know you sound like Keith Sweat, baby boy. We're going to know that, and we know we're not going to put all that energy and that time into that damn voice.
Okay, but but people get older. They might have sung like, Tevin Campbell, and then they started smoking some weed and got into high school.
Exactly.
Now you sound like Tevin Campbell.
And here's
They
true.
start sounding like Casey and JoJo.
Right.
Keep slipping away from me.
That shit happens, and this is the same with sports, where it's like, all right, I was a tall for an 8th grader. You got kids that are tall for a freshman. They were 5'11" or 6 foot as freshmen. They stopped growing, and then they went from being the starting, whatever on JV or getting some varsity playing time, and all of a sudden, they're not even considering him as a recruit. So I'm just saying that kind of shit happens where
reality steps in.
All right.
Yeah, that's
at
what
a
I'm saying.
certain
If we're
point.
Yeah. Like I understand what you're
just
talking
a
about.
finesse system.
We were
If you have
arguing different
kids,
points.
We
if
were
you have
talking about that
kids,
for sure.
finesse the system. Let the motherfucking kids keep playing in college. Walk on. This is advice from me. And if they want to quit a year into it and be a manager for the girls' team or play intramurals, fine. Because I had a 2.5 going into college. I would have been at ITT Tech if it wasn't for football. So I know plenty of other niggas who, if you're preferred walk on whatever sport, you can still get into the school relatively easy.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
If you are an athlete. Larry told me a story where he got into his school because his other scholarship.
Who's Larry for the listeners?
My little brother.
Okay.
He got it. He had another scholarship that fell through, and he got into school, like applied online, did everything like a week before school started when he came in. So it was like once the track team accepted him,
It was
just a formality to apply.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same to me. Like it was just a formality for me. I already knew. Once I got my acceptance letter, it was like I didn't even open it the first day when I got it. I was like, I might have, but I wasn't like, it wasn't like I was nervous. Like, oh, I got my acceptance letter today. It was like another piece of mail. It was like the light bill.
Because for an athlete, that's a little different. Yeah.
Right. So long story short, scam the system, learn how to shoot a decent mid-range just to get your foot in the door. And then if you're Torrance's child, you will not sleep or eat or do anything fun.
No, they'll eat and they'll sleep, but they'll eat and sleep whatever that thing is. I know. I'm joking.
August 20th in 1619, 401 years ago, the first enslaved Africans were brought to U.S. soil in Jamestown, Virginia.
Slavery was not a choice. I got my little Spike Lee hat.
I
like
that hat.
It's 40acres.com, whatever it is. 40 acres something.
His first production company, that website?
Yeah, I got off there. If you haven't already watch The Five Bloods, a great movie.
Absolutely.
Torrance Weekly News Update.
All right, y'all. So in the news, USPS is
US Polo
going
assassin.
to shit. Basically, a U.S. Polo assassin.
Bruh, USPS, dog.
Yo, so I essentially.
It's association, though. It's not assassin. I always call it assassin.
Everyone thought it was assassin. Let's be clear. Everyone thought it was U.S. Polo assassin. So everyone called it U.S. Polo. Oh, you don't have a polo. You got on U.S. Polo assassin, bro.
That was such a damn shame.
That's what you got on. It was so bad.
Because there's so many kids that were extremely embarrassed because their parents genuinely thought they were buying the right thing.
And it's just like there's no other way. Like, what you gonna do? Like,
right?
You're not gonna wear this new damn shirt that I paid money for.
Correct.
And it would always have Polo Assassin on the clothing.
I think I might have got like one by accident, like my grandmother bought me one or something like that, and I had real Polo, so that shirt just wasn't getting worn.
Nah, I'm sure I got something I never wore.
It sat in the drawer until it was that time for my parents to do their yearly donations to like Goodwill or whatever. Right in the bag.
That was the worst. That was a deadly
I said I'm not
sin.
wearing that Polo Assassin shit. Get off me with that.
Absolutely.
But with the U.S. Postal Service, 45 y'all's president is doing everything in his power to disrupt the flow of snail mail.
Yeah, this shit is weird, man.
It's
you
really crazy.
If you're still like, yo, I'm fucking with Trump, I just really just like want to understand how you can ignore, even if there's some positives. I'm sure if you put down positive and negatives, there's things that can come out of this administration that are beneficial to you. But how can you ignore some of this stuff? How can you ignore
in this one specifically? Because it's like this isn't like a cutting off the mail services and stuff like that. Isn't one of those changes that like only impacts Latin people or like only impacts
everybody.
Poor people. Like postal service impacts everyone, and then they're like at a general consensus level. If you believe in democracy, like the general idea, the founding principle of this country of democracy, he is literally stealing democracy from under our noses. Like this, he admitted it. He straight up said it was to slow down vote by mail and shit like that. So like, just from that perspective, I don't understand how you can still. I mean, I understand how people can racism, but I can't like fathom. I can't make it make sense in my head.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like people believe in democracy only when it serves them, right? Like people are for democracy and like, oh, I believe in a democratic, bipartisan, and da da da, and no one has more power than the other. But they only believe in that if it serves them. So
yeah,
the majority of people who are following and actually understand what's happening. Now, let's be very clear. There's a difference between the two. There are people who are following simply because Trump says whatever they want him to say and they like the things that he's saying, and they're actually,
or they see a headline or something like that.
Exactly, and they see a headline and they're going with it. But then you have other people who are following who actually understand what he's doing, but actually don't give a shit because this system is benefiting them to a massive degree that thinking about going against him would be a disservice to them, and they can't allow that to happen.
Yeah, and I was talking to my parents about it this weekend, and I was saying that I'm waiting for more Republican senators, congresspeople to start raising the alarms on this, because even if they are direct Trump supporters, like this shit really messes with constituents. Like I've been reading articles about a lot of veterans who get their prescriptions through the mail and stuff like that, and their prescriptions are weeks late at this point. And it's like, this is stuff that they need, like life-saving medication for our veterans.
It's like best case scenario
so much, you know what I'm saying? Like it's
best
absurd.
Case scenario, he does get elected, and then like you said, you just dismantled a massive supply chain essentially. Like how long does it take then to get that back up to speed? Because it's all intricate. Like anytime, like anybody that knows basic supply chain
management type
complex, and it's not just one way. You got, there's fucking vehicles, it's air, it's express, it's international, it's rural areas, all these different kinds of Americas that you can't just back to normal. Like no, people laid off, or people quitting, hiring people back on to do the fucking work. This is if you go long enough, this is something that's going to be fucking us on top of a pandemic for like 6 to 12 months.
Oh, absolutely. You got to think that there's still people that get checks by the mail.
Right.
So that's going to mess with people like being able to pay their bills. People get their tax returns or even their stimulus checks via the mail. Like it's just so absurd. And I think we would be doing ourselves a disservice if we did not recognize the three of us being alumni, whatever the plural for alumnus is.
Alum Amos.
Yeah, famous Amos. Whatever that word is, of Elon University. A board of trustees member, Louis DeJoy, is the postmaster general now and a major Trump donor. And so
that's a wild ass name.
I'm not donating to Elon any longer until DeJoy is removed from the board of trustees. I know people have been putting pressure on Connie Book, who's the president of Elon, to really shift this up. But it's kind of wild that, I'm not shocked because our school is in North Carolina and
a very racist school.
And low key, honestly, it's like it's one of those liberal racist schools. where it's like on paper they seem real good, but it's actually racist or whatever.
Come on in, nigger.
But the fact, right? But the fact that they're just like directly letting him still stay on the board, and like he's directly dismantling democracy, and the fact that he's a rep. Like every time you see an article about this man, he's at a podium that says Elon on it. That's bad press for Elon with every single article that's written about this man. And so I just want to say,
you got to realize that
together.
the children, the students who are coming to Elon, it ain't like a whole bunch of these motherfuckers are people that are so against what's going on.
Well, no, it's really gonna be alumni pressure. I mean, eventually, I think it will have to stem down to the students because they're the ones that are like on the ground or whatever, and can storm Connie's office or like do that type of stuff where it would really be in her face. But I think it's really with the alumni, and stopping the dollar at the end of the day.
I just don't think there's enough people, even students, that's going to really
apply that much pressure. They
actually, if this was NYU or something, but these are a bunch of white motherfuckers from Boston and Nashville.
Cynical Kyle doesn't think that he'll be gone, but wishful thinking Kyle, who doesn't come out very often.
Yeah. So I don't know. Speaking of stupidity out of North Carolina, has opened up their in-person classes and then closed their in-person classes and have now moved virtual classrooms moving forward because over 130 people have been tested positive for corona. I believe it's like 400 or so that are in quarantine currently.
Yeah, bro, that's a wrap.
Or at home. I'm very curious to know what the details will be about their residence life experience and how
2 days.
Them kids gonna be home by Labor Day, bro. That's what 3 weeks. They're gonna be home by Labor Day.
I don't know how UNC gotta do what they gotta do and refund these people their money.
They're not gonna get. I said, suck my dick.
That's why they brought them there in the first place.
Right,
That's why everyone's bringing everyone there because of that. But you think
giving
a
right? Thing back.
They're not giving a dime back. We all know that. It's going to take some serious, like, I'm about to sue y'all asses to get this money back type of thing in order for that to happen.
I guarantee you there was something different probably in the housing. Yeah, no,
housing clause.
Corona be whatever. You sign this shit, nigga, non-refundable.
You click this button,
bro.
It's virtual.
Over with. That's why, like Kyle said, that's why they brought them there and made this decision so fast in the first place because they knew this was going to happen.
Yeah,
they
don't care.
They didn't even do any. UNC didn't even do any testing before, like mandatory testing. Like Elon did mandatory testing before 2 weeks before they came back, which is still stupid. But it's
are they back at Elon yet? I don't even know.
Yeah, move-in weekend was last weekend. They did it over 2 days this year, I think, instead of one. But it's stupid. Like UNC probably has close to 30,000 students, I'd imagine, at least. And you bring in everybody from around the country.
One good weekend on Franklin Street, they had to shut them boys down.
Yeah, like
if I was a parent,
my kid wouldn't be going to in-person classes nowhere.
Well, I would have had a parent that was more than a freshman. I would have just had them, if they wanted to leave the home, get a nice off-campus apartment somewhere, even if it's 15 minutes away. Like, look, you're gonna quarantine and be responsible. Sure, nigga. I already have money saved up for you. Have an apartment here.
Yeah, I think it's very hard to even pretend like 18 to 22-year-olds are going to be responsible. You know what I mean? Like, even think about like us when we were in college. Like when we should have been responsible, we weren't always responsible. So I was. Okay. Okay, daddy. But no, I think it's kind of ridiculous to try to pass the buck to teenagers essentially and ask them not to be teenagers. Their brains aren't even fully developed yet.
Yeah, it's over with. But wishful thinking though. As a parent, I would probably be tired of seeing this motherfucker for the past 8 months anyways, quarantine.
But I'd rather see him every day than have Rona, so.
But I'm saying, if you go to fucking Duke or UNC or NC State, get your little apartment in bumfuck Durham,
I'm sorry.
Because they're probably not going to be stuck in the house, and they're going to be doing wild shit at the house anyways.
No, they not. Not to stay in my house.
But that's fine.
Kyle, you've done okay. You know what?
In the middle of a pandemic, Daniel.
Okay.
I'll be at home.
After 7 months, you might.
I'll be at home right now.
Okay.
If they're staying in my house.
When you were 21,
But I was
oh yeah, don't get me
house,
wrong.
my rules. What you mean?
I know. I agree with you, Danny. I think it's like, oh my goodness, the child is going to be flipping out and losing their young ass mind because they can't
and
go.
Bringing the corona to me.
But that's the thing. You wouldn't be bringing that corona to me.
No.
This grown ass motherfucker who's been in college, been fucking doing all kind of shit for the past year, is not going to just stay at home and not see anybody.
So you're saying that
in everyday life.
I'm not saying they need to stay in their room, like
and
they're not locked in their room.
No. Danny said that his child's about to disrespect the shit out of him and his house,
right?
And the bills and the lights that he pays the bills for. His child, whether it be.
Can I say what I was gonna say?
Man,
no, you cannot. Don't.
Not have respect for you. Hey, look, it's a pandemic outside. Don't you go your ass. Fuck you, Daddy.
What I'm saying is, I'm gonna be realistic and say I might not want to see the motherfuckers.
I can never fathom doing that in my household. I didn't even have a room technically.
I'm trying to think about what.
In my house, my dad said he allowed me to stay in a room. So I didn't even have a.
What I'm trying to say
is, Danny said his children already ain't gonna have no respect for him, and I'm crying.
I mean, if Jamal is any indicator, honestly, then it makes sense.
Fuck you, Danny. I'm out.
His old house.
Basically,
you're a bitch, and you're not even fucking funny. Fuck you, Danny.
Dad, you suck, Dad.
You're not even my favorite comedian, bitch. What I'm saying is they're gonna socialize and go have a drink, go get it, whatever, do shit anyways. So I'd much rather you do that.
Yeah, but
quarantine socialization shit.
I disagree
on campus. Who cares? Both of us, all of us, are at least 20 years away from having kids in this position. So
come on, that. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about
the soonest,
the earliest.
Right. So we're just talking to talk.
Yeah. So also in news, Kamala for VP.
Kamala.
Shout out to the left side.
Shout out to Miss Kamala Harris.
Honestly, I'm really upset that we don't get in-person campaign events. Because I would.
Oh, it's not in person?
Well, it's all their stuff is going to be digital.
Oh, it's starting today.
Biden is old as hell.
It started today, and I didn't even.
They can't test them?
The DNC starts tonight. I mean, they'll have some in-person stuff, but the grand majority of their stuff is going to be.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I would have loved to see Kamala at a nice campaign event. Her auntie K stroll.
Her auntie just like a little jig, and then she kind of do this, and then bust out laughing because she can't do too much.
I would have loved it. It would have been great to see.
Yeah. So shout out to
this is perfect.
Regardless of how you feel about her as a candidate, as a person, as a former prosecutor, whatever, this is a historic moment. These aren't mutually exclusive things. So
yeah, unfortunately, everyone will always have their pros and cons about someone and the work that they've done.
Correct.
And Kamala is truly, and I say truly, and I mean truly, the lesser of evils. Joe and Kamala are the lesser of evils in this scenario. Kanye West is not a lesser of any evil.
No,
whoever that write-in ballot is, whoever that independent, person is, whoever that, whatever that is for you, they're not the lesser of those two evils, because the reality is they're not going to get enough votes to win.
Voting for a third party in the era of Trump is a vote for Trump. We saw it in 2016.
And it's honestly like,
who was the chick that took it?
It was from the Green Party, Jill Stein.
Jill Stein.
She took like 70,000 votes in, I want to say it was Michigan or something like that. And
yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you kind of have to look at life in this way of recognizing that America's already fucked, y'all. Like, you know what I mean? Like, America has a very corrupt.
We live in a failed state.
Yeah, exactly.
It's getting there. The fact that we have,
it's there.
Yeah, the fact that we're talking about the postal service not working properly, the fact that we're talking about
not even working properly.
schools not being able to go back where all these other fucking countries are like kind of over Corona.
COVID is the third leading cause of death in the United States.
Period.
COVID has been around for 5-6 months in this country.
The
Yeah,
numbers
cause of
keep
death
growing, and the numbers keep growing, and they're only going to continue to grow because schools are opening, people are going back. This is a bad time. This is a bad time right now, and people are downplaying it because I get it. People have had enough. We've all have had enough, but this is a bad time for us all.
And we can't even. And the craziest part about it is we have a country that's not even on the same page around helping its own people when it comes to stimulus.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, people, there's going to be there's no vaccine. All right, think about this. We get a vaccine, say even a month from now, which is not going to happen. Say there's a vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
How many people are already anti-vax and uncertainty?
Oh, a lot of people are
all
going
this
to
kind
get
of
this
shit.
vaccination.
Like just even if we did get a vaccine in 30 days from now, to mass produce it, to get it to everybody, and then for people to actually fucking take it, like we're still
That's
best
months.
case scenario
That's
quarters
months
away.
Yeah.
And that's if something happened, damn near today.
Mm.
So
Which
like
won't be a thing.
the fact that us as a country are still trying to deny this need for help, it's like, bro, there's so many. You got businesses. We have, like, even if there isn't an increased like crazy second wave, just think of all the regional or small businesses that are about to fail, if not already have failed.
Mm-hmm.
There's gonna be no fucking bars.
The fall is going to be really, really
Right.
bad.
When people can't
for
go outside and
small
eat.
businesses.
When people can't go outside and eat, and then you might
Or
force
even
them
when it's cold and don't want to go outside to eat.
Right. Or you force
Yeah.
them inside, then everyone gets fucking sick, and they have to close shop for a month. Like, there's going to be so many of these bars and small restaurants. You already seen it. There's theaters that have already closed. Like, there's going to be not a lot of shit if the government doesn't step in and say, we're going to keep y'all afloat.
And the other thing that we're not really accounting for right now is the flu is coming. So like regular seasonal flu.
Ass flu.
So when you combine regular seasonal flu with the Rona, it's gonna be a bad fall.
This is gonna be a very tough year.
I'm gonna start stocking up on supplies real soon. Honestly,
everyone, we just gotta hold on, help us away, pray on it.
Some canned goods.
Cleaning. You saw what went first already. It was cleaning supplies. It was toilet paper. It was that type of stuff. So I'm gonna start buying.
That's the next.
I'm gonna just start buying one thing when I go to the store each time and just stocking it up because it's gonna get bad again.
Extreme couponer.
I kind of want to do that. Side note.
Get you a rifle. You look like you own a rifle right now, Kyle.
Because I'm wearing a camo hat.
I was like,
that
ew.
Big beard.
I looked both ways. I like.
No. Look at Kyle. Kyle looks like he's definitely racist.
Kyle looks like he's duck hunting. He does look like he's been out in the wilderness and has shot a deer.
I've never done that before.
Oh,
your wife's name is Abigail.
We're doing that. What?
Kyle, like he's married to a white woman named Abigail.
I'm dating a black woman, but
okay. This is what you look like, Kyle. It's a joke. Go with it. We have a fucking podcast.
They're not funny, Daniel. Your jokes are bad.
Podcast, and we're trying to get people to laugh at it and enjoy
you
it.
It sounds like Danny's child is pressing the buttons.
Your jokes are bad.
Oh, my friends still funny than you, Dad.
Could you imagine? My fans hate your fucking comedy. Your last special sucked, Father.
Oh, that would be awful. That would be.
Want to stay at fucking Kevin Hart's house?
All my friends said you should quit now.
All my friends laughed at me because you were so bad. like
I'm staying at Drewski's house. Fuck you, Dad. Damn, bro.
That's tight.
What happened to sports?
Playoffs.
Nothing important.
Playoffs is going on right now.
Poor Donovan.
That man dropped 57 points.
Poor Donovan Mitchell.
It's still lost.
And still lives in Salt Lake City.
That too. I'd be mad as hell if I was on Salt
Lake. It's a
Lake.
beautiful looking city. I looked on Zillow. It's a nice looking city.
Oh yeah, probably like site-wise, like amazing mountains and parks and all that type of stuff, but it's Utah.
I don't think
There's
so.
nothing to do after 9 o'clock at night.
That's what I tell people all the time. I like pictures of mountains, and I like pictures of the wilderness, and I like pictures of that sort of
I
stuff.
like going to visit it and like staying, like going in, but like I like being in and out. You know what I'm saying?
I like the wilderness.
Who y'all got for
know.
the play? Who y'all got winning the championship this year?
Bron.
Yeah.
Lakers been looking real. They got turned on. They've been looking real bad in the bubble.
I mean, I think I have faith in the team itself more than anything else.
Yeah, I think they're going to turn it on in the playoffs. But I'm just saying they looked bad in those last few games.
Look,
Portland doesn't
They
play any
looked
defense.
great when they first started.
That's
They
the
were
other
looking
good
really
thing.
good with the beginning.
They're playing Portland in that first round. Portland's all firepower but no defense. So
okay,
but
Quinn Cook and Jared Dudley were getting reps before y'all. Like,
I mean, but they clinched the 1 seed and they were
right.
They were letting role players play, but still,
LeBron is 40. He's like, look,
but even like Danny Green hasn't been hitting shots. Like,
it doesn't matter.
It does.
It doesn't matter.
It does.
It matters to a degree, but it doesn't, because Portland is probably top 4 teams in the West. Like, they're better than.
It's going to be Lakers in 5.
But exactly, Bron James has been playing very mediocre. AD's probably overall best player in the NBA, with defensively and offensively.
Yeah,
LeBron's not going to. Their best pickup was probably Deion Waiters, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get a lot of minutes, probably in conjunction with or besides Danny Green. Like, they'll be.
So who do you have coming out of the East?
Probably Giannis. If Giannis, this is the thing. If Giannis wants to, if he can really take over, and man up the whoever they're gonna play, like he just has to. It's a different level it takes to get to a fucking finals. Mm-hmm. It's lockdown defense.
That killer.
It's no bad, not even just bad, no bad games. It's every game has to be at least an A- and above.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's at that point where he can make that level.
Oh, absolutely, he can. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Make that. But is he gonna sustain it? Because I mean, playoffs.
Potentially 2-time MVP. You got to be able to.
Yeah, I'm just saying. The playoffs is just a grind. You know what I'm saying? Right. So you can't just have one good game or one good series. You got to have 3 good series.
Think about Steph. Steph had like series where he kind of dwindled, but he had another top 5 shooter.
Yeah,
not ever.
Yeah,
at least in the league.
4 All-Stars on that team.
And he's pretty much all defensive. Right? I mean, having KD, I'm talking about Clay. Even before that.
Before, exactly.
Clay's a top 10 player in the NBA, for real, if we're being honest.
Top 10 shooter at least. But yeah,
exactly.
For sure.
And defensively and just spot-up shooting, he builds you out a lot. So Giannis doesn't have that. Middleton's cool, but he ain't Klay Thompson. So
no.
You gotta really be putting up some Dame kind of numbers and playing really good defense to come out.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
So
we're gonna see how it go. Washington football team. That's a new one. Hires NFL's first black team president.
It felt really weird even typing that.
I know. I was like, the Washington football team.
Yeah, it doesn't really roll off the tongue very well.
It's not very nice.
The Washington Redliners.
I can't wait until they decide on a name.
Kyle,
who are you telling?
Kyle, suggest them the Washington Redliners.
We're more of a gentrification city.
Oh,
so
okay.
let's
sorry.
Let's stand in our truth.
Not
here.
as much real estate. You just gotta push niggas
like
out all together.
Well, no, they do that. They push them east of the river, east of the park, to the bottom side of the city.
Understood.
And then they don't put grocery stores or hospitals down there. So kind of fuck everybody down there.
The Washington Northwest South football
quadrant.
Just found out he's also an alpha, so that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Washington Northeast.
I will
South
say though,
Street.
I saw some people talking about this. They were like, I think Keyshawn Johnson, the wide receiver, now analyst, whatever his name is. Keyshawn Johnson, yeah.
Keyshawn Johnson.
He was talking about like, is this really a real hire, or do they have like some ulterior motives here? Because with the whole stuff behind the name change, and then the team had the huge sexual misconduct firebomb that dropped like a month ago or so or whatever. So they're clearly in cleanup mode, and their whole organization's a PR nightmare. So some people are wondering, like, yeah, it's great that we got a black hire, but
also, is it a black hire?
A little bit of cynicism, but also the other thing is like we gotta wait to see what this dude's like. Like I don't know anything really about him, like what type of energy he's on and stuff like that. But just I think 2020 has been a constant reminder that all skin folk ain't kinfolk. So
yeah, I don't remember him playing, but it's
it's a step in the right direction.
And it's crazy to see that he's the first black president.
The fact that we're still having first of anything in the 21st century is absurd.
The amount of smart black players and businessmen that have come out of NFL, just businessmen in sports in general.
That could have been.
There's a lot of white boys that have never picked up a football that are fucking GMs and shit and presidents and stuff. So the fact that he's the first is insane.
Yeah.
But that's America. But shout out to them for at least trying, and we'll see how it goes. I feel that's an interesting franchise. I feel like they've had really good years, but it's just tough. I don't know.
It's a rough existence being a fan of the Washington football team.
Because you've had some success. You've had some great players. At least with the Bengals, like we've had some success, but we don't have like a historical expectation to do well.
I mean, neither do we really. Like fans.
But y'all have had some good. Y'all won some Super Bowls, haven't you?
Danny, the last Super Bowl we won was the year before we were born, 1991.
Okay, but still, that's still like in someone's lifetime. Like I remember when we were really like good, and you had RG3.
Yeah, but yes. I mean, there's been some okay years, but I think I'm as a Washington football fan, you know, as a person who grew up on the slurs, you don't really have. Yeah. You learn to temper your expectations at a young age. I'll put it that way.
I will say this last thing on sports. There's no way Alex Smith makes a team.
So Torrance, you don't know who Alex Smith is. He was the quarterback for the Redskins 2 years ago. He got hit, broke the hell out of his leg or knee or something.
Pretty much shattered that shit.
Pretty much shattered his leg, like to where the bone was sticking out. He's had 17 surgeries, skin grafts. They almost had to amputate his leg. Like he almost died from this. And he just got cleared to resume football activities, whatever that means. But if I was him, I would have, because he had a nice guaranteed contract when he got injured, and he's like 34 years old. I would have took that guaranteed money and gone and sat down with my wife and 3 kids. You'd have never seen me in that field house ever again.
Even seeing the videos of him, like he even walking around, you could tell he's not. His leg isn't right. For that.
He had a very good E60 on ESPN that was really good. That chronicled his injury and like his rehab process and stuff like that. His leg was fucked up, bro.
Look, much respect
sounds
to him.
Bad.
To get to that level.
I respect the hell out of him for even getting this far and even like wanting to play again. I respect that, but couldn't be me.
I just don't see how it's as a team, what's the benefit? This guy can't really move, and he gets hurt.
I would make him a bottom string quarterback and let him. I mean, we have Haskins, who's a very young quarterback who hasn't even played a full season yet. So I would just let him mentor him. But
it's like at that point, that's a roster spot. That's somebody who could play fucking running back or
who knows if he'll even make the active roster.
That's what I'm saying. That's my prediction.
Yeah,
him getting cleared is different than him.
Oh no, yeah, than making the 53 man.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyways, entertainment.
Yeah, that's a nice little hot take you got there, Daniel.
It's actually pretty informed. Go ahead, though.
It was a hot take for me because I don't know shit.
We know.
Oh, Daniel. In entertainment, 2 men have been charged in the murder of Jam Master Jay. Back in 2002, it was a cold case since then until.
How'd they find new information?
I think it was part of like a drug case or something like a broader case, and then
it was connected to.
Yeah, I like skimmed through the article because it was before the actual like arraignment announcements were made by the attorneys, so it was only like had a handful of
like details.
But I'm glad that this is a step in the right direction. We'll see what happens when this eventually goes to trial. But 18 years was with no real word on what happened to that man or who killed him.
Who shot him?
There's a documentary on Netflix, like a year or two ago.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah,
really glad that this is happening.
Yeah, for sure. Justice can be a thing, maybe. Lovecraft Country debuts on HBO. I have not seen it yet. I am very excited. I have gotten, literally since the podcast began, I've gotten multiple messages of people watching it now today as of Monday and are like, what the hell did I just watch?
Without giving it away, what is it about?
It's a Black, almost like sci-fi thriller, or has sci-fi thriller elements to it, I should say. Set in the 50s, Danny? A little bit after the Korean War.
I haven't seen.
You haven't seen it? I thought you did see it. Okay. But this dude is going on a search to find his father, who's gone missing. Essentially, is what you find out in the first episode. But there's some really interesting stuff. Like really shows the kind of similar to Watchmen, where it shows kind of the horrors of racism and kind of like the real realities of racism. And one of the interesting things here is it's partially based, like the main hub of it's in Chicago, but they're traveling to Massachusetts, so they're going by car. So it's like talking about like a real like Green Book or whatever.
Green Book, yeah.
So it's like it's properly using the Green Book, unlike the movie Green Book or whatever. And like one of the characters is a guy. He's a Courtney P. Vance.
Yeah,
he's in it.
God,
he plays.
Oh, great.
He plays. I forgot the dude's name, but the black dude from Last Black Man in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He plays the main role. He's amazing in it.
I'm so okay.
Journey Smollett too.
Say less.
But it's
who? Booked and Busy Journey. Really,
that's what the one thing I will say though is like a lot of these shows that are based in like yesteryear, when they talk about American racism, it's usually based in the South. And this one is based in the Midwest and Chicago, but also like partially like going all the way to Massachusetts, and it's showing how racist a lot of those New England, super northern towns were. It's like just as racist, if not more racist, than some of those southern towns. But it's really, 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 really good. If you have not watched it, it's definitely going to be the show of the fall. HBO has not been missing with any of their shows, so.
Shout out to
man, HBO on their fucking neck.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Shout out to HBO. They came out with some great things, and I'm very excited to watch Lovecraft Country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shout out to that. Also, shout out to WAP, which goes #1.
Shout out to Cardi and Meg. Congratulations.
Shout out to Cardi and Meg, who came up with the song that made me cover my mouth the first time I heard it. I heard that song and I said, "Oh my gosh, what the hell is she
Sexual
saying?"
freedom.
I was like, "Oh my god."
That would have been the song of the late summer right there, boy.
Oh,
It is, but
it still is. But
it would have been.
It would have hit different
song.
if you could be outside.
Mm.
Remember when Bodak Yellow came out? That shit was like, even for niggas, it was like, oh.
Yeah, imagine me at the day party with WAP comes on.
Oh yes, over with.
It would have been wild.
It's fucking macaroni and cheese noises.
Mm-hmm.
After who are you? Okay. I just
who had macaroni and cheese? Who the fuck?
Who brought a pot? Who brought a pot? A whole pot. You don't hear that?
Is there fresh mac and cheese in the section? Who the fuck?
Is that stovetop macaroni and cheese? Who brought stovetop?
You're nasty.
Who was over here?
Pre-baked macaroni and cheese with the cheese sauce.
Who's
pouring cheese sauce?
Be like, can I have some? Just a little bit.
Where's the fork? I didn't even see a fork in here. Where are the forks at in the first place?
Ain't no spoons. Ain't no nothing.
Damn, man, it's time to get canceled in this bitch. That Drake video was fire too, man.
Oh yes,
It was. That was a very good video.
I'm telling you,
that was a
bro.
very good, sorry, that was a very good ad for Nike.
Oh yeah, it was an ad for Nike. It was more of an ad than anything, but it was fantastic. The song was. I enjoyed the song.
I need to listen to the song without the video.
Without the video, I don't know if I like it.
I haven't done that yet.
Play it in your car. That shit's a fucking bang.
I don't know if I like the song or if I like the video.
It's a banger. That's a song that like you got to be on a trip. I feel like most of our trips we go on, whether it be homecoming or like just boys trips or somebody's birthday or whatever, there's always like some kind of slap that comes on.
Oh, absolutely. There's
that
always
week
a slap of the trip.
We went to Vegas. That DJ Esco shit dropped like the night of. So it's like this is a perfect song that if you're going on a boys trip and you in a club or whatever or pre-gaming, like this will be played 20 times through the weekend.
Add it to your playlist.
Right. So I like it. People hate on Drake for what reason? I don't really quite understand.
To hate on Drake.
But he's one of the best, if not the best. He's the
that
the
is very
GOAT
true.
of our time.
You can't debate it. Numbers don't lie.
Shout out to his brand. His brand management team is excellent. He is also very talented at that. So it just you know what I mean? Like talent alone is great. But when you have a brand like his,
he finds a way to consistently put shit out but not get like stale. He knows like, all right, I'm gonna give you some, I'm gonna chill for 6 months. I'm gonna put a single out with another 2-3 months. And I'm gonna put something out again. Then I'm gonna go away for 16 months. Then I'm gonna get a couple of feet. Like he just knows how to sprinkle it, but in the grand scheme of things, like this nigga's putting stuff out every year.
Yeah, he puts out music every year.
Every single year.
But it's like not to where like, oh, it's too much Drake.
Yeah.
The B-side shit was kind of like, I need all this. But that was the first time ever I've been like, I don't really need all this.
I think I only listened to Scorpion once or twice.
Right, yeah, the A side and the B side. But there's still some bangers on that. Yeah. Nonstop, 8 out of 10. Like there's some hits on that shit. Start night. What's that? Nice for nut, whatever.
Nice for what?
Like,
nice for what? Yeah.
There's some hits on that shit. So it's like,
oh yeah, no, he keeps a hit. He keeps a hit. If there's
one thing,
there's one thing Aubrey Graham is going to do, it's keep a hit.
Like Drake will give you a hit. He gonna give you that hit.
Club hits. This shit. If I heard this shit in the club right now, I'm fucking squaring up with somebody.
Oh, okay.
With nice clothes on.
Good thing the clubs are closed. Well,
right.
Y'all don't like to fight. Do y'all not miss fighting like in public and stuff or getting arguments? Because I do.
Here's the thing. I don't necessarily miss fighting, and I
miss a nigga accidentally bumping into me and me getting furious is what I miss.
That sounds like an anger problem.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's my truth.
Okay. Well,
you live in that
from
home. I wish a nigga would.
Summer Walker has something to say.
We got to refresh all famous niggas. 85% of famous niggas need to just be refreshed.
We don't need famous people. We don't need celebrities. We don't need influencers. I think 2020 has showed us all that.
I'm just saying, people that are so-called good at what they do, we just need to we just need to remove their Instagrams and their Twitters and just let them go on an island and just prop up a new set of regular people to do this.
Yeah, I think people just need to remember that Summer Walker is a good singer. Ain't nobody ask for her thoughts.
Nutritionist.
And it is sad.
Especially not on infant nutrition.
So, for those who do not know,
he is not a pediatrician.
Bro, that baby would die so fast.
Summer Walker said, why are y'all spending so much money on formula and Similac for your child when you can easily, for your baby, excuse me, not your child.
Baby.
The child has different things. For your infant, for a baby. Why are you spending money for Similac and all those things for a baby when all you need to do, go to the store, get some fruits and some veggies, get your food processor, and give it to the baby, and the baby will be fine. Summer Walker is a sure dumbass idiot if she thinks that a pear has the same nutrients and benefits that formula, breast milk, all of those things have for a growing baby. for a growing ass baby. There was an article that someone like kind
That
of
baby's growing so
on it.
much.
There's an article that somebody said these parents were arrested and charged for feeding their fucking baby a vegetarian diet.
Yeah, it was like a vegetarian or like vegan diet. Yeah.
Yeah, vegetarian and vegan diet. They fed it to their baby and the baby died because it didn't have the nutrients needed
CPS
for them to
would be at Summer's door within 1 week.
Could you imagine how hungry that baby would be? Like, yo, this is it.
Please
honey?
stop.
Baby,
I don't want to
baby
do
would
that,
never
Daniel.
stop crying.
Thank you.
That baby would be crying nonstop all day.
I don't want to do that. You gotta see. Oh God,
Y'all ain't getting no sleep.
Skinny baby is this?
Don't listen to this dumb ass.
Yeah, please do not take baby nutrition advice from Summer Walker if you were considering it. Matter of fact, if you were considering that, you probably should not be having a baby.
I don't know. I just think about like
depending on abortion laws in your state, it might be too late for you. So just put it up for adoption, take it to a firehouse, something.
Or feed it feed the baby what it needs.
No, but I'm saying if you were considering taking Summer Walker's nutrition advice for babies, you should not.
There's multiple legitimate options to feed. Is breast joints, is formula.
Hold on, pause. Please, can we revisit it? Can we breast joints? Because I think that's my favorite thing.
Multiple joints.
Honestly, I feel like breast joints is my favorite one. I don't think a word's gonna top it this week.
Let's go.
They got the breast joints. Oh,
breast joints. What are we having for dinner tonight? Well, I got a couple of these breast joints.
These breast joints. Tell her, baby, come on over here.
I can heat up some of these breast joints.
Oh my gosh. That's my favorite one.
Oh my God.
Danny. Wow. That one was great. Use that one.
Oh, okay. Kanye said he wants to start a Christian TikTok. Cat Williams, moving along. Cat Williams did an ad for Supreme.
What is a Christian TikTok? What is a Christian TikTok? What are you
know what it is
on Christian? What is on this Christian TikTok?
You know what it was when you signed up. He doesn't know. Kanye's he's Kanye, but I don't want to talk about him anymore. Cat Williams. Cat Williams is one of those goats that we talked shit about for a little bit just because he was in some trouble and like
he was wild,
acting crazy. But Cat is going to be, I'm trying to think of similar to like a DMX, where DMX was one of the biggest, if not the biggest name for a amount of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And kind of went away for a little bit and went crazy, kind of, quote unquote, and out of jail. And then his last special was already fantastic, Cat Williams.
It was.
And he just is one of the GOATs, man. Like, him collaborating with Supreme, and Supreme's already kind of, whatever you want to say about it. But them even picking him as someone to put on the ad I think it's perfect.
I haven't seen the ad either, so that's why I'm not.
It's like 5 minutes.
I'll have to check it out.
The little short clip is like people have been showing is like 50 seconds. But it's a whole 5-minute little it looks like stand up, but it's more of a monologue because I don't think there's an actual audience.
Oh, okay. That's like not a brand ambassador or like a spokesperson that you would expect from Supreme. So that's an interesting choice. I'll have to watch that video later.
Yeah. Cool. Let's get into our only sponsor, Bray.
I was going to shout out Monique. Seeing as how we're talking about comedians who we talked shit about at one point, but then now they're getting their shit because.
What happened to her? Did she get her?
So Netflix, they keep filing these like appeal to the court to like dismiss the case that she has against her, like her discrimination lawsuit or whatever, and it keeps getting thrown out. They keep saying no.
Yeah, they said that you can go forward with the case.
Yeah, exactly. So shout out to Monique for never letting up, even with the masses. I talk shit. We all talk shit about Monique at some point, and to that's like a true testament of just like sticking to your guns, knowing what you know is right, trusting yourself and your experiences, and then going for it regardless. So like we all got our foots in our mouths to some capacity. But shout out to Monique.
She's a legend, and
like a true like Martin Lawrence led, like just.
I think when it first came out, maybe how it was positioned and her trying to get Dave Chappelle money, it's like, maybe that's still far-fetched, but you know, her getting hundreds of thousands. I don't know
Less
what
than
some of
a
these other
million was
comedians are
absurd.
getting.
Yeah,
off of these specials.
her getting less than $1 million. Amy Schumer getting more than that. Amy, like all these other
Some of these
artists, and
motherfuckers.
comedians.
Oh, before I
more than
forget, we
100%.
can. This is kind of with what we're watching, but who cares? Sam J. stand-up special
I'm waiting. I haven't
might
watched it
be
yet.
I'd have to look at a list of stand-up specials that have come out this year, but it's at least top 3 for me.
Just off the clips that I've seen, it looks amazing. So
I was hollering. It was great.
It's just the perspective of her being a gay black woman, but like calling out shit within that. It's like, hold on, nigga, I'm still a chick. And
yeah, like the bag carrying clips.
Yeah,
I saw that
like,
one was at the airport. That was hilarious.
but it's like more. It's just so much more. It's a really good special. It's
really
intimate.
special.
It's well shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the a lot of these people I feel like rush to go to theaters. And if I'm ever blessed enough, whenever I have my first special, whether it's 30 minutes or 15, I don't know, whatever, and I put it out, I want it to be that kind of intimate. Of course, it's a long time before I'm in a massive arena, but something about that intimate setting that is so dope to me. I love it, man.
Yeah.
You felt connected to like her performance, and it was
the shots weren't too far away where you felt like you're looking at other.
You're all the way, like the camera pan wasn't there. It was just like
the laughs, because like some of these specials when it's an arena, the pacing's different.
Yeah.
So the way they tell jokes, it's like they're telling the jokes to the crowd, but I'm watching it via TV.
Yeah.
So when when it's intimate, when it's 50 to maybe 100 people, you're telling the jokes to those people the same way if I'm in the crowd.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly that.
I'm not waiting 15 seconds or trying to project so much to niggas in the back. Like, it's different.
Yeah. Definitely top for sure.
But I don't know. This podcast is also brought to you by racist light-skinned aunties. If you have an auntie that is rich and successful, hey, you know, it is what it is. Vote for her, and also vote for your potential Democratic.
Oh, you're talking
president.
about Kamala. I was like, what are you talking about? Okay.
That was improvised, but yeah, shout out to Kamala. It's so funny too. Oh, it's not funny. It's crazy how people are trying to act like, is she even born in America? It's like, nigga, all these white people with these
at straws.
It's
literally
like
grasping at straws.
It's sad.
Ivanka barely speaks well English. Like, what the fuck? Does it not matter?
Melania.
She's married to whatever. What did I say?
Yeah, you said Ivanka. That's his daughter.
That's a daughter.
Yeah. Even that fucking Russian ass name. You should only have a couple fucking syllables in your name to be in the White House, to be associated. Ivanka.
That's 3 syllables.
I only need two at most.
Well, Kamala.
Fuck this. What can we? All right, I gotta go in like 10 minutes.
Okay.
But what can we do for the rest of the year?
Nothing. Stay your ass inside. Socially distance. Wash your hands. Wear a mask.
Though?
What if you can't stay inside?
Yeah.
Like as in go outside. Well, I think it's gonna be very interesting what people do once it starts getting colder out. Like the options are gonna go way down. So I don't.
Okay, this is my honest thought on everything that's Corona. We are nowhere close to an end.
Correct.
And there's not going to be anything that the government does realistically that like legitimately stops this.
Because it's a virus.
Correct. And what I'm saying is no.
Like a vaccine, you mean?
No, it's vaccine. It's actually putting things in place for us to stay home, like other countries have, to like really eradicate it or minimize it.
Got it. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is, since we're probably going to be a year from now at the earliest, realistically, before things are even somewhat normal, I don't think it's realistic for me to be like, I'm gonna be in my house 6 days a week.
Well, that's a realist. Well, that's because that's not a desire of you to do. You know, like you don't desire to stay at home.
What I'm trying to say is, I've been pretty conservative when it comes to going outside and doing things. And just now, like, I mean, I went to Georgia for 4th of July, which was very remote, southern Georgia. Then I went to Arkansas, which is also very remote. Then I'm doing parallel park every other week. which is outside and shit. But even that's kind of a lot more than what some people are doing. So all I'm trying to say is, I feel like since we're so fucked as a country, not to say just throw it in and just go all out, but like, I don't know. I feel like I might be willing to go have dinner if I feel like this is socially distanced, and like people can be taken care of in a healthy way. I might be willing to fucking go to a comedy show if I know the capacity is minimized and I can have to wear a mask or whatever it is. Like, I just don't think it's realistic for me to only leave the house one time a week for the next year.
I get what you're saying. I think some of that stuff will slowly start to come back. I think the winter is going to be a very big test of that.
Like, am I going to parties? Am I going, am I doing that? I'm not even part of a gym yet. But when it's 12 degrees in Chicago, I'm not going to not work out for 6 months. Like, there's so many other things that are going to go that would fuck me. And other people, if we just sit like, if 30% of the country sticks to these rules that no one else, I guess, kind of goes all for nothing anyways, when the rest of the country's not abiding by it.
Well, yeah,
I think there's things that we can do, calculated risk of, like, wearing masks in public, of course, washing hands, not going to crowded spaces where there's hella people, but like still finding some way to fit in normalcy.
Yeah, I think that everyone needs to decide. Well, that is what everyone's doing. Everyone's deciding for themselves what that level of normalcy is and whether or not that level of normalcy includes safe activities.
Because if the government said, yo, we're gonna lock out for 6 weeks or 8 months or 8 weeks, so we're gonna give y'all stimulus, we're gonna whatever, we'll prepare the supply chain to be able to give everybody whatever they need for, food and water and shit, and we're gonna lock in from October 1st to end of November, I'm doing it. But until that happens, I don't think it's realistic for me as a person with a mental health, with not even mental health issues, but with aware of his mental health, to be like, all right, I can't be in the same room for the next 12 months.
No, I agree. I think that it's not realistic for Americans.
Am I tripping, or do I sound
No, I fully understand what you're saying.
Yeah, you're not.
And also,
tripping at all.
Kyle's parents are older. I'm not around my parents, so it's like calculated risk that I'm willing to take.
Yeah, it's different.
And it's and that's all it is. It's about the calculated risks and understanding what the ramifications of those are when you make a decision like that, right? Like, I mean, for my birthday, I did go to a outdoor seated restaurant. I mean, everything was like super far apart. So it was like, I felt very comfortable doing it, looking up reviews online. And it was like what was it, Saturday morning? Yeah, like Saturday morning for brunch. Went and it was outside, like I said, very socially distant. Everyone had on masks and shield and gloves, and like it was just very like everything was very I felt safe in that space, in that environment. So for me, I was like, okay, this is a calculated risk regardless. Going outside and dealing with anybody and being at the grocery store is a calculated risk.
Yes.
So for me, getting that food and eating it and then being fine afterwards, I was like, I'm okay. Like I'm not as freaked out as I first was about it because there were so many unknowns. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm still taking this thing very seriously.
Same, right?
Very refreshing but it, like you said, Dan, it was refreshing as fuck to sit outside at a place and drink a mimosa and eat some food that was served to me that I have not been able to do for a very, 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 very fucking long time, when that was a part of my like experiences in my weeks and my months, So I think it's realistic. I don't think it's unrealistic to have that mentality of like, I'm going to calculate the risks that come with going to this event or this thing. I don't think there's a level of like recklessness that needs to be taken into account, obviously. But I mean, I like the thought.
I look at it like driving on the highway. You know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what, when you're on the highway, when you're going to change lanes, when you're going to speed up, when you're going to slow down, but you're not worried about yourself. You're worried about what the other cars on the highway are doing. You know what I'm saying? Is someone going to not look when they're merging lanes when you're coming over or something like that. And it's like, that's the same thing with COVID. It's like, you can take all the calculated risks in the world. You can stay at home. You can be perfect. But if other people are out here wilding and shit like that, and they're asymptomatic or they're symptomatic, and and you come into contact with them through passing, or if it was at like a small venue or something like that, that's the worry. You know what I'm saying? Is everyone else going to be taking those calculators, or are they wilding? Because I've seen a lot of people out here wilding.
Oh,
no, yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
And well, shit, I saw in Oklahoma there was this kid who had COVID and still went to school.
Yeah, like there are people who had COVID, went to appointments, knew that they had it.
Yeah, like what?
So like, yes, those people.
So like that's
you can't really control.
That's the type of stuff. Yeah, you can't control it, but you can take
other
your own
people
calculated
do,
risks.
Exactly. So for me, like I said, that brunch, I wasn't near nobody. The only person I was near was the server, and that person. I was praying to God. He didn't have corona, even though he had on a full mask, a face shield, and a whole kind of setup.
I think when shit first opened up and things weren't quite clear how we could kind of minimize the spread of it, I was like, hell no. But like,
I'm not going
like you
nowhere.
said, like I've gone to restaurants where they have no menus, where you can scan a code on your phone.
That's what we had to do too.
And they, the bartenders are far away. Like there's things now where it's like, okay, like I, for my mental health, for realistically me as a human being, I don't have a mansion to like go bowling downstairs and like, have a big ass back porch.
Got one room and a living room.
Right. Luckily, I have 2 bedrooms, but it's like still,
Yeah, you got.
It's only but so far you can.
You got the nice little porch too.
Yeah, but it's not shit compared to. It's going to be 12 degrees in 2 months.
This is definitely one of those moments where I wish I lived in like North Carolina and had a house.
Oh, me and Ashley already talked about it. I'm taking plenty of week in or week until I start a job. Whenever that fucking happens, I'm gonna be in and out of Chicago. Fuck this. I gotta go in like 5 minutes. What are we watching?
Chronicles on BET. I watched that this weekend. It's really, really good. It's a docu-series. There was 5 parts on No Limit and Master P. So that was really, 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 really good on BET. And episode 6 is starting Rough Riders, so they're focusing on DMX.
I love how it's these early mid 2000s or late 90s documentaries and content's coming out, because like I always say, that's the music that I grew up on. Like, my mom was in her fucking 20s and 30s when I was growing up. Most of my childhood, but 30s most of my childhood, and going into her 40s. So like I vividly remember when my mom was my age, 28. And so like we was listening to DMX, you know what I'm saying? We was listening to fucking Carl Thomas and all that kind of shit. Yeah. So like Bad Boy, Diddy, all that kind of stuff was shit that we was playing in the car going to get groceries. I missed the whole Earth, Wind and Fire phase. So like these things, hearing them and hearing the stories about them just brings back so many memories. As like,
and it's also like just hearing all this, because like this is music like my sister would listen to or whatever. So like I remember hearing it from her, but it was like I didn't know all these like intricate details about their childhoods and their lives and all that type of stuff. So it's like super interesting to see how that music came to be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm rewatching The Game, but that's it. I didn't finish Moesha. Moesha got on my fucking nerves, so I stopped her.
I'm not even going to waste my time with that.
Yeah, don't do that. But I'm rewatching The Game, and I hate it, but I don't hate it.
It's a great show. The first couple seasons were great. Yeah. I think it starts getting kind of like, this should have ended 3 seasons ago after like 4 or 5.
And they're only doing seasons 1 to 3 right now.
That's all you need. That's all you need then.
They said give you a little taste. That's it.
I'm watching Umbrella Academy right now.
Really good.
Very interesting.
What season are you on?
Middle of season 2. So
okay.
It gets. I loved.
I binged both. I binged both seasons in like a week and a half.
I might finish them bitches tonight.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Season 2 for me better than season 1.
That's what Larry told me. Everybody telling me it was like the season 2 was better.
I agree.
Season 1 I episodes. Myself through, but season 2
a couple of episodes in the middle of season 2, I'm like, okay, like tell me something, but
you gonna get told.
You gonna get told, don't worry.
You gonna get learned. You gonna get learned.
Also, sorry, in a non-scripted TV show, they're on Amazon. I found this last night or 2 nights ago, World's Toughest Race.
I keep seeing that all over.
It's really, really good. It's this like crazy race through Fiji. There's like 66 teams. It's the hardest like outdoors race in the world or whatever. It's like an eco challenge. It's really good if you're into like that type of like outdoorsy challenge type shit and watching people struggle and all that type of stuff. I watched like 4 episodes in a row. It's really good.
That's what it gave me. Struggle. Okay.
Healthy.
Competition. It's competitions, outdoor competition shows.
Well, not even
Despair?
because I like outdoor competition shows, but like you said, it's the
Oh yeah, no,
toughest
like in this one, this dude got heat stroke in the middle of the race, and his team essentially had to like pull him along and like keep going.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like that kind of struggle for me, that don't do it for me. I like a healthy competition struggle.
This is.
I like people's
life and death on the verge.
Yeah, his eyes changed colors. He was so messed up.
Hot take of the week and/or final thoughts.
My final thought is to update your resume. And when I say that, I don't mean that one that, you know, maybe you're using to apply to all these jobs. Update your own resume, child. Mm-hmm. Update yourself, update your skills.
Gotta learn have 2 of them things, dog.
I just downloaded or paid for this course for this. I don't want to jinx it, but I guess jinxing isn't really a thing. Anyway, I just did this thing for voiceover class that I'm going to start. You're right. You're absolutely right. So I just did this voiceover class. So I'm about to start that this week, and I'm pretty excited about that.
Make sure you give me the password too. Thank you.
Okay,
Kyle?
sure.
You go first.
My thought. Take this time to think about family and take time to, especially if you live in the same city or you live in driving distance or whatever. Invest in your family, invest in seeing people. It's a tough time, and we're all going through things individually or as families or with just Corona in general. So, spend time with your family. It's refreshing to see your loved ones and people that you can truly be your authentic self around. I know it helps me. I've been to Georgia to see my sister, and to Arkansas to see my brother, and those trips, even if they're 2-3 days at a time, do a lot for you because you forget when you're in these cities away from family how important it is. So absolutely.
My final thought is don't give these jobs or your boss any extra leeway on you. If they ask you if you have enough work to do right now, tell them yes. It's none of your business it's none of their business if you don't. Like, be comfortable with what you can do right now. We are in a pandemic. You are Black, probably, if you're listening to this podcast.
If you're white, white kings don't do it.
Also, it's extra work they trying to give you. They trying to pile on, and you ain't gonna get paid no more. So
business is not booming, nor is it that important.
It ain't. Oh, also, make sure you take your days off, even if it's like a random day here or there.
Focus on the negatives. Even if you have to go into that negative PTO time, do that. Sorry.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine having a job right now during this pandemic. I mean, yeah, I won't ruin my chances of getting one. So I'll talk shit. I'm in the mood of getting it. I'm in the mood to get a job offer, just to decline it. But this has been a great episode. 144 9 to 5 podcast. Thank y'all for listening.
Bye, everyone. Hopefully they don't listen that far. Okay, bye.